All right, welcome everybody to the monthly Copywriting Clinic. Copywriting Clinic is an opportunity to come learn little bits about copywriting and bring the projects that you're working on to get real-time feedback from the group. It's a super casual meetup. We have a ton of fun. Let's just kind of go through the rules. So, basic rule: be excellent to each other, be respectful. If you are, so one thing we do encourage is I encourage everyone in the group to offer feedback. Even if you know very little about copywriting, you still have intuition, you still have eyeballs, and you can read, you can write. So definitely speak up, offer feedback. Worst case scenario is we'll say, oh, maybe not that, maybe it's something like this. So my lovely co-host is Agnieszka. And yeah, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Kind of depending on how many things that we have to go through, I might put a little bit of a time limit on it. I do already have three websites that we're going to take a look today. And I wanted to first, let's get kind of a gauge in the room. So I have one from a gentleman who's not here. John Tiggy can't make it to this time, but he sent us a Loom video and some copy for us to look at, and then he'll review the recording later. I also have another website from Jason Socorro, and we'll see if he shows up, because I would like him to be here live for that experience. And if not, then maybe we'll do the same. We'll look at it and send him the recording. And Agnieszka's got a site for us to look at and play around with. So aside from that, who else has some stuff for us to peek at today, so we can kind of get a temperature check of the room?
Well, I just literally threw a web page together yesterday. It's definitely not done, but if you want to peek at it and there's time, I'd be happy to share it.
Excellent. Way to step up, Carly.
And me, I have a site that I want to redo. So,
okay. Anybody else?
I would just say Jason has snuck into the room and he's here.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you just had a different name. Okay, see, I actually, when you hopped in, I kind of had that thought, and I didn't want to assume when I saw the JS, but perfect.
Yeah, I got to figure out a way to make that show up permanently. Or to keep showing up as JS, I'm not sure.
No problem. Since first time meeting and all that, so now I know. Perfect. All right, so then first I'll ask, does anyone have, is anyone on a specific time crunch today? I can't stay for the whole time, would prefer to be one of the early ones. Okay. Cool. All right, then let's just kind of go down the line. So let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's keep it to, I'm going to try and keep us on track to about 15 to 20 minutes per project to make sure that we have time to go through everything together. So why don't we start out? Let's start out with John Tiggy, since he was just the first one on my list, and he's been on my radar for the last week or so now. So I'll share my screen and we will watch his Loom video together, where he's going to kind of walk us through what we're looking at, and then we'll see what kind of feedback that we can offer him. It's always a little bit challenging when the person's not here, because I know that we're going to have questions for him, questions about his target market and his business and stuff that he's obviously not here to be able to answer. So we'll do our best and see what we can offer. All right, share sound.
Right, Land. This is John. I'm unable to attend your meeting today, so you get the honor and the privilege of my first Loom. Excuse me, I almost said Zoom. They're so close. So I have written the template for my website, and I do not have a website design yet. So I wrote the book, and I'll design the cover later. And that being said, some of the questions I have are going to be website design related. Let's begin. The first thing is the name of my business. I call it Higher Dimensional Awakening. It's a good name, and I may change it. It's not a very descriptive name. And I have my logo, which I designed, and I have a cropped template with the logo written into it and a different one. And the first question about website design would be, is if I use this logo, do I have to have a cohesive red, yellow, green theme throughout, or can I just use the logo and use a different template, like say from one of the website designers?
I'm going to pause it with that first question from him and wonder if anything popped up. I'm not as strong with design stuff, so I would actually ask you guys your thoughts on his question there.
I have thoughts.
If he gets a template from somebody else, he can change the color scheme. That's easy. He just wants to get a layout that he likes, and then he can make it any color he wants. You know, what I would ask him if I was designing it for him was, what do you want people to feel when they're there? And, you know, red, yellow, orange gets people excited, but, you know, so he has to decide what he wants them to experience. And then he can pick whatever color scheme helps with that.
Yeah, red, yellow, and orange have specific meanings in marketing, right? Specific impressions. But also, I'm not sure about the placement on the logo and the larger image. Like, it kind of gets lost there, and it looks odd to me. I think I would like to see the logo without the outside image. Just the little circle with the design in it. Because especially a logo has to be printable, has to be able to go on different types of documents and things like that. So it's really good to have a logo that can stand alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
I
know.
agree. I think this is a great use of a logo if that sun is the logo. And then this could be one of the images on which he puts it. In terms of colors, I would advise that you would use contrasting complementary colors on the website that can make your logo colors pop. But you can use whatever colors you want. Yeah.
Now, I have my call to action, which is reprogram your life the way you would like it to be. And I ran it through that analysis program. It gave me 33.3%, which apparently is good. It was above 25, and but offering that to you. I have two methods.
Let's see what the rest of the video says. Let's see what the rest of the video says.
Are you hearing it, Agnieszka?
No? Are you guys hearing it?
I can hear him.
It's kind of quiet.
Really low. I have to turn my sound up to 100% to hear him.
Yeah, his audio is a little bit quiet.
Offering that to you. I have two methods to reprogram your life the way you'd like it to be. One is reprogramming your subconscious mind, and the other is movement with feedback. So website design idea would be that this would be, if this catches your eye and you click on this, it would expand down to more detail. And if that catches your eye and you click on it, then it would expand down to even more detail. I am unsure about whether or not to keep this as one flowing website with all the information there, or just to have this simple thing side by side with this, and if you click on it, it just kind of expands below it. That's what I'm thinking about doing, is that one. So you reprogram your subconscious mind by removing the negative and limiting blocks that prevent you from attaining your goals. Add positive, empowering beliefs, help you achieve your goals. So I don't think I need to read through all of this. I'll provide the PDF and you can look at all the detail, but you decide what you want to change. And these beliefs have a lot of, these beliefs can limit what you can achieve, and having a positive beliefs can allow you to move forward and get beyond areas where you're stuck. the specific things that I work on: chronic pain, relationships, emotional issues, and allergies. Then going back to the movement with the feedback, shift through your mythologies through movement. By observing someone move, you can, I've got shift through stories that people carry. So if you click on that, there is more of an expanse. Every person has a story. I talk about moving into presence and what presence means in this context. Then I have an about me. I don't think it's very good about me, but it is an about me, and you guys can read this and tell me what you think. Do I need an about me on the website? I think I should have one, but I'm not really clear what it should look like. What kind of detail should I have? And then I have testimonials. I have the reprogramming your subconscious mind testimonial. I have 2 of those. And I have a movement testimonial. And then I have a movement and a reprogramming testimonial. This individual has done both with me. So again, I'm not going to read over this stuff. I'll leave this for you to read if you like. I'll leave that, and I'll await your feedback afterward when I watch the video later on. So I hope this was useful for you. Oh, this move into presence, this is more of an example of a descriptive. And so there you go. And thank you very much for your time, and I hope to come to the next meeting. Bye.
All right. Thanks, John, for when you watch this next. And so then I do have the PDF that we can look through. Immediately, John, I do have some thoughts as far as, so thinking about, so you have these 2 methods to choose and thinking about how to structure these. And so what I'm thinking, so you have these 2 avenues that people are going to go down, but there's going to be outcomes and benefits that people would get from either one. I would start by first introducing, it's kind of like there's common formula in copywriting of problem, agitation, solution. So thinking about these 2 avenues, because if these 2 avenues are so different, they would need their own pages, they would need their own websites. I know that there's going to be similarities in the outcomes people experience and then the ways that they go about it between your 2 programs. Is how they're going to get there. But starting out in the beginning of thinking about what are those common challenges that people are facing when they're arriving at your website, and what they're, when they come in contact with you, and then being able to empathize with their problems and then present the solution. So what I was, and we'll need to go through a little bit of this in a little bit more detail. And again, design-wise, design is not my area of expertise, but we can definitely go through some thoughts on that. But right now, it's kind of like you're starting with, you've got your hero image, this call to action, and then these 2 routes. But they haven't been, they need to see themselves on the page and feel this connection before you're going to present the solution to them. I'm going to stop soapboxing for a minute and just open it up to the group and see what thoughts are arising out there.
I had a similar thought to Kara about how what I would like to see to a visitor, as a visitor to a site, would be my problem listed. And I kind of visualized it as like peeling an onion, and the skin of the onion is what I'm going to connect with. It's like, oh, I'm a red onion. So I'm one who, my problem is that I can't break bad habits. And so then I would go deeper and deeper into the website. And like you said, if this catches your eye, you'll go to this. If that catches your eye, you'll go to this. So you keep going deeper and deeper and getting more and more information about that problem. Or you could have, and you would also have, a different type of problem for somebody else and talk about the solutions to that problem, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Stephanie. I agree.
I think the onion skin's kind of like the landing page. I don't know.
Well, and and this is where I've been kind of back and forth on wondering, you know, and this is just a curiosity, I don't know the answer to this yet, but if these two programs need their own pages, like their own landing pages for each program, or if it's enough to, like you said, just do kind of like this drop down. If you're going to just do something like a drop down, you do need to be strategic with the space that you're using. So I'm trying to picture these as being two things side by side. So you have like these two columns that can be challenging to read if they're side by side in these two narrow columns. So you kind of have to be strategic with the text that you're putting there. What I would say the biggest takeaway, John, I think that you could get is to really focus on the outcomes and the benefits that people, like the outcomes people would experience from going through these programs. And those need to basically be like front and center. Those are the things that you want to display first, because there's that, you know, really common saying in marketing that the features tell and benefits sell. And that's because people don't care so much about the feature until they know how it's going to affect their life and make an impact in their life. So really putting a focus on the benefits. And so let's go a little bit more, you know, there's a lot of text here. And so we're not going to go through each and every line individually. So we're going to kind of have to do like an elevated look at all of this stuff, but let's kind of go through these. So 2 method, reprogram your subconscious. They're removing the negative limiting blocks. Avoid these, the you know, slashes, negative / limiting blocks. If anything, if you need to have both of them, turn it into just like a comma or something. Like it doesn't, you know, avoid the ands. We don't want to have too many ands in here. But also the slash is just doesn't look very nice. Attaining your goals. Have positive empowering beliefs to help you achieve your goals. And so it's like getting specific. So, you know, about attaining your goals, achieving your goals, but how can you get really specific into what people are going to get? Like we need to get more pointed than that, more laser focused than that. Subconscious program is keeping us from achieving our goals, and we don't know it. What we do know is that we never make more than a certain amount of money, or we achieve the success we want.
I have a quick question. Does he already have a website that has
No.
stuff on it? Okay.
No.
So he needs
No, that's why
he needs more than landing pages. I mean, for what my understanding is, a landing page is something that you link to your ad or to other people's websites, and then once they're on the landing page, you can drive them wherever you want on your website. So,
well, a landing page is essentially anywhere that someone lands after clicking a button. So typically, like a landing page, there's not going to be you generally don't want to have top navigation. A landing page has a specific goal in mind. Landing pages like have one job to do, whereas like a home page is more of the navigation. So it sounds like this is going to be a little bit more of a homepage feel to it, and or a long form landing page that he's trying to accomplish, you know, all these things on one page. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. So, we have, you know, the reprogram your subconscious and movement feedback. I hear who's talking. Oh, Michael, what's up?
I was just going to say, I think, you know, these things sound very interesting to me, and I like your idea of having like two different paths. It seems to me like you could have two little simple videos that kind of demonstrate a lot of this stuff, because if you had like part A that was a video about this reprogramming your subconscious and, you know, the muscle testing and all that, it might only be a 1 or 2 minute video, but it explains a lot of this stuff that, you know, what is muscle testing? It could just be him holding his arm up and pushing it down and saying the words or something like that. But whatever that is, it's relatively quick demonstration, but I think it could, I think there's just a lot of information that you could, describe. You could try and describe it in words and it's going to go on forever, but using images and video, you can get a lot more accomplished in a lot less time and make it easy for people to select those two things. So that's my thoughts.
That's a really great idea, Michael. I really like that. And what that would also help with is, even so, okay, so they something entices them, so they click, and then something drops down to learn more. Then you've got these big blocks of text. And what I love about this idea, Michael, is that the video gives an opportunity to like really spell out and explain all this stuff. You can say so much more so quickly in a video than in this big, in a big block of text. And then below the video, you have clear bullet points of the specifics, whether it might be the benefits of the program and the outcomes people are going to experience. That's the route that I would go, is first, again, leading with the benefits, and then a little bit more like bulleted details of what is involved in the program and like the specifics of the program.
Yeah, and it might, like men might do the A program where women do the B program, or people that are business orientated or logical might do A, and people that are artistic and whatever do B. So like, is there any categories that basically that fit me that I might say, oh, I'll do A? That could be another thing.
I think testimonials, I think he has two or something. He mentioned testimonials, but that'll be good if he has a testimonial button, because people like to, especially if it could be a video, that would be amazing. But yeah, testimonials, the more testimonials he has, the better, because people will identify with different successful cases. So
absolutely. And it's like, there's so much, these are great testimonials with a lot of specifics of what people got out of the program. And so like repurposing those up into your copy, and maybe you already did. I haven't gotten, we haven't gone through each and every word. So maybe you already have, John, but reiterating those specifics. Just kind of glance up here on what we have. So yeah, so this is talking about the different areas of, basically this is like your problem section is what I'm reading this as. And so I would say this needs a little bit of a higher location, and it might be, some are going to be specific to movement, and then some are going to be specific towards the other one, to the reprogramming your subconscious. So, they would need to be strategically placed. And so I'm really going back and forth on wondering if there is a need to almost have like this be like a homepage navigation that then they click to go and learn more about their program, because there's a lot of information here, and trying to fit it all onto one page might get a little bit too crammed. It's kind of the way that I'm leaning here. So he's got the how things are done.
I think it should be organized from the perspective of the client. Like, what do they care about first? What do they care about second? What do they care about third? Because the way it is, it's like, it's basically the same thing every business owner does, where they toot their own horn, but in a way that's like, oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, which is great, but it doesn't tell us anything about the client, or doesn't tell me anything about me. I might have all these issues, but it's not about me. It's about what you can do. So if I come here with issues, I want to see somebody who's like, hey, do you have this issue? Can I help you with it? Here's some ways, right?
Yes, leading with that empathy and like understanding the problems people are experiencing when they land here. He asked, and Agnieszka, I'm gonna have you come off mute for this one because I know you'll have plenty to say. He was asking about the about section. Immediately when he was asking about that, I was like, oh, this will be for Agnieszka.
Oh, no. Well, this is the same thing I just said, right? Because it's John. I'm not John. I don't care about John. I don't know John from Adam. John could be Steve or Paul or Buddy. I don't really care about John. This should be about what John can do for me. Like, hey, Agnieszka, John can help you out, with Like, I don't want to, as a healer, like if I'm going to a healer, I don't really want to know in the first line that he used to be a computer programmer, because that like breaks my trust right away. But if he tells me he's an intuitive healer whose grandmother and great grandmother were also healers, that gives me some information that I can actually use, right? Like, I don't care about his degree. I don't ever want to hear about his degree. I want to know about his intuitive connection with nature and how he got to be a healer all the way back to when he was a computer programmer. But he doesn't necessarily need to mention that he was a computer programmer at all. He could say his love of mathematics allows him to analyze and whatever, right? But it's just like if I said, hey, can I make you a dress? But I'm a contract analyst, right? Do you want me to make you a dress now?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the interesting caveat to about pages and, this misconception, because even though, all right, it's about John, but it's not. It's still about your clients or, potential prospects that are landing here. It's about the reader. And so everything that you're going to put in here, you need to connect it to how that's helping you help, provide a solution to these people and how it's helping you help them.
I have a question. So, you know how you say like the about me section isn't really about me. So do you think the testimonials take care of that?
What do you mean?
So instead of saying like, yeah, my background is a computer programmer and I can get the job done, like, the testimonials will say, yeah, he helped me out and it was valuable.
I mean, yes and no. Like the testimonials are really important, unedited the way that they are on the primary page. The about page, so you can take elements of that and kind of repurpose them into your about page of how I've been able to help these people do X, Y, and Z because of my experience. So, yes and no. Like you can take elements from the testimonials because that's proof of how you've been able to help people with this, and you can bring that into your about narrative, but they're still going to be separate things. That makes sense?
It's sort of something people expect. They expect to have an about me or about something, page.
And, and that's actually, it's a good point too, is that, we're on a website, you got to be thinking about catering to various personality types. So there's going to be, certain personalities that are not interested in the about page and they just want that quick information. Tell me what it's going to do for me. Give me those benefits. Boom, I'm done. I'm ready. Then there's going to be, the emeralds, or was it the owl, that's, going to be really needing to get a lot more information, and they need the nitty gritty. They're going to be coming and reading your about page and learning about a little bit about your history and how it can help them. They want all of those details. So it's finding ways to structure your web pages to be able to speak to those various people. So, that's where, yes, having an about page is definitely important. And also, I mean, in a way, John, you're kind of on a good track as far as the way that you've structured this to say, okay, if this meets your, catches your eye, then you can learn more. So that's a way that you're catering to those people that need a lot more information than others. You just want to make sure that you're giving the essence and like those really important things and those important outcomes right up front, right there at the top. We are going to wrap this one up pretty soon. I would love, John, for you to, I know that, as far as like specific nitty gritty stuff on some of the copy that we didn't get into, this is more, a little bit more elevated look, but definitely like come back next month, bring what you've been working on and let's see how we can tighten it up even more. Any final thoughts for John before we move on?
Can't wait to see the website.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. All right, next on my list is Jason. Let's take a look over at your website. And so if you could give us a little quick like rundown, just give us what your business is and who your target market is before we get into the specifics.
Okay, I'm a HERS rater, and it's the mandatory third-party testing that California requires anytime that there's new construction, residential new construction being performed, or simply, replacing an air conditioning unit. There's a thing called California Title 24 Energy Code, and it's mandatory by state that the jurisdictions apply this enforcement of this code. So I facilitate owner builders, contractors, general contractors, mechanical contractors in the compliance process with this type of work. And so my idea with this website was just pretty much to just have some pictures and just have some sort of an online presence. I used Weebly and used their template builder, and I just basically just threw it all together. Didn't give a lot of thought to it. I found out how to put a slideshow on here, and I did that. And then I decided to, specify a little bit here, residential, or new construction or remodels, and then building performance, which I've done a little bit in the past. But the majority and the bulk of my work is on the residential side, and it's doing duct testing, duct tightness testing, building tightness testing, and airflow measurements. Sorry if I sound pretty bad. I'm a little under the weather. And that's basically what I just wanted to have as far as a website goes. And then I think I have a book appointment and some more pictures. I've helped contractors with their permit compliance. So my business model was to help contractors get the permit for the air conditioning replacement that they were doing, and then they do the work, and then I come in and do the third-party testing to kind of help facilitate their compliance process from start to finish, and maintain third-party integrity, third-party quality, and help educate homeowners and contractors on how to best meet these measurements that the state puts forward.
Great.
Hablamos
So first-
español.
So the first thing that I would say is is up here getting some kind of a headline, something that's going to speak to them of where we're at. So you've got the title of your company, but some kind of headline stating what you're doing for them. Even just looking at some stuff that you have. So it could even be as simple as having something like this copy up top, and underneath it, serving these counties, so just as far as like working with what you already have, but thinking about like these people that you're serving and what do they need to read, like what do they need to see when they first get here. So we got some pictures, but brand new stranger landing here, like what would they need to see?
I would like to know what the pictures are of.
Mm.
Like now I'm seeing descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
On some of the pictures there isn't a description of what you're looking at.
I would actually recommend even, because this is considered your hero section, right? This is like your above the fold, the first thing that people see when they land here. And so, you've got this slideshow. I would consider, and I'm open to suggestions from the rest of the group too, but I would consider having one image up here that speaks to like an end result of working with your service, and still having a slideshow, but having it just a little bit further down the page, giving them a chance to like say, wait, what am I looking for here? Because I mean, all of these things in your slideshow is one homeowner going to be coming and wanting to get all of those things. That's a genuine question. Would they be wanting every single thing that's in the slideshow?
I have a question.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Agnieszka?
So what is the biggest problem that you solve? What's the most common problem that you solve for your clients?
They need a permit closed out, and they're usually, by the time they call me, a lot of cases they're very seldom are they starting a project or are they in the middle of a project. A lot of times they are pretty much getting done with their project, and the city inspector is asking them for a HERS test. And so that leaves me to go in. Mm-hmm.
So would it make sense to start the website with, hey, are you almost done your project assist? Do you need whatever the terminology is? Are you ready for a blah, 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 blah? Because I'm here and I've solved this issue for so many people and everybody takes forever, but I'm here to do it quickly, reliably, and efficiently.
Possibly. The whole idea for this energy compliance process is that for at least new construction, you need to have a HERS rater that you're working with to verify the insulation in different stages of the construction process. So once the
I think-
drywall is already up, you know,
What
goes there
about,
to verify?
I had a quick little idea. Like ostensibly the purpose behind the government regulations and everything is to keep your home warm, correct? So what if it was something about, pointing out the fact that after these services, your home is warm, that hominess, that connection with family.
But that's not
I
the
don't know.
problem he's solving. They see,
Isn't
because
it though?
no, because they don't care about that at the moment. What they care about is they want to close out that paper.
I would still have some pictures of people that are shaking his hand and happy, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say about the slideshow. The slideshow is really good eye candy for another technician, but it means nothing to most customers.
Right.
Because I don't even
and
know
we-
what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know if it's inside of a fridge or inside of a house half the time. You know what I mean? So for a layperson like myself, it doesn't really relate. It's just a bunch of weird stuff that I can't recognize. But like she said, the happy people who received your great work, yeah, but also addressing their issues directly and addressing how you solve their problems directly. Because you said that they need some piece of paper from the government and you facilitate them getting that quickly, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So that's their
can-
biggest issue. They are almost in possession of the house. They're like a minute away. So not only are you going to solve the warmth issues, maybe, but you're also going to solve the fact that they're going to be able to take possession right away. Are you ready to take possession? I'm going to take the last step and I'm going to make it painless for you.
Mhm.
I was
There
just
is
going to
a-
add, go ahead.
There is another competitor in my area in the same city as me who does the same thing. And I was actually looking at his website the other day, and he's got a pretty good website, good layout. So I think I have some homework to do as far as going and looking at his website and seeing how it's designed and things like that. So I can maybe get some other ideas. Those are all good ideas.
can
So maybe
learn
putting the
from-
slideshow further down.
You can learn from competitors from all over the world. It doesn't have to be somebody in your area. Maybe somebody in
Mhm.
Australia is writing really cool copy for it, or maybe someone in Europe, in England, has some really cool idea of how to present this issue and how to describe it. Just read a bunch of them and then take the best sentences or the best ideas and put them in your sentences.
Mhm.
And can I just throw quickly in, maybe on the front page, just have two buttons, one button for homeowners and one button for contractors.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that Jason and I spoke earlier this week, and one of the things is that he's looking for new avenues, and to me, like his expertise could help a lot of people. Because of this is California, energy bills are going up. So if you're a small business and you're leasing a property and it's like a sieve as far as the heating or cooling goes, you're going to lose your margin by just being in the wrong building, in the wrong location. So having his expertise to choose the right place is almost essential. For small businesses that need like office space and commercial space, they should be checking his stuff out. And then the same thing with the homeowner. Do you want to, you might find houses the right location, but that it's got, does it have the right stuff, as far as energy is concerned, because energy is a big concern going forward for people and their budget. So I think those are two avenues that aren't addressed at all in this, but I certainly think those are things that could be identified. And then maybe it's just a realtor or a property investment or property management company that is trying to identify which of their assets they want to hold on to and which one they want to get rid of.
Interesting.
Yeah, my business pretty much is it's just helping homeowners get to the compliance process. There's really not a whole lot else to it. And that's why I am, like we discussed, Mike, trying to find different ways where I can add value with the tools that I have to do some investigating, to do some some testing, measuring, diagnosing, so that I can help people make better choices for sure.
That should
So-
be copy right there. Everything
Mhm.
you were just saying right there, that's copy for your website. It's clear, straightforward, like no nonsense. This is what I can do for you. And I even just like started scribbling down something about like helping homeowners navigate the tricky compliance stuff, you know,
Wish my
whatever
hand
the
could write a lot
words might be.
faster.
Well, there will
Good thing
also be
we're
a
recording
recording,
this.
so you'll get a copy of the recording. But yeah, like it's so interesting where sometimes it's just kind of talking out and just the clearest language possible exactly what you do for your clients, and that is the copy that goes on your website. That's where a homeowner is going to land here and be like, oh, beautiful. That's exactly, I've been trying to navigate all this compliance shit. How do I even do this? Boom, this guy can help me.
Just let me move into my house already. What the hell?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can make it feel like you're going to answer the urgency, like Agnieszka has been addressing, but like, voice that pain and be the calming answer. Be Superman.
Make it sound like you're a professional.
I just had an idea, although it's not, I don't know if it makes you look professional, but to have a picture of a bunch of pictures of stuff that's not right, that you would like fail, and have, your truck go by across the front of the pictures, and now they're all fixed.
I like that, like a little animation at the top of the page, like all these issues and people pulling their hair out, and then the truck goes by and erases it, and you have smiling, happy people on the other side. I like it.
Did we lose Jason? I think we lost him. I think he dropped off. His Zoom must have crashed or something.
Yeah, and that image before people are happy could be in black and white, and afterwards it's all in color.
Yeah, that would be a good addition too.
That's a total Fiverr project. You go to Fiverr, hire an animator, and make them make that happen.
Well, you wouldn't need an animator, but you need somebody that knows video.
Well, since we lost Jason for the time being, and I think this is definitely gave him plenty to get going on. So let's move on. What's next?
Sorry, can I just add one thing to?
Sure.
I just noticed the very top there. I would have thought that rather than saying Reliance Energy Services, I know that's the name of the company, but wouldn't you expect something like hers, something to say what this is about? And I know he mentions hers further down. Maybe you've already commented on that and advised him to move this down. But I like at the top, I would expect something to say something about the hers certification.
Well, it depends on if he
top.
has other stuff also. So he might need a hers landing page, that's just about hers if he does other things.
Well, if I understand correctly, the purpose why people are coming to be searching, Googling would be certification. So if I'm landing here and I'm seeing Reliance Energy Services, I want to see something straight away about certification and if this is the right page that I'm looking for. And normally people not understand, especially people in California, are going to know they need this HERS certification.
Yeah, then Reliance Energy Services, the byline.
Is there a seal or something that you could put embossed, like in the left corner?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, like a stamp or a gold star, something that shows the certification.
And you are right on track, Van. That is something that we talked about is like moving all this stuff down, needing a clear headline and copy that speaks to the clients coming here and speaking to them where they're at and getting quick to the point of like why they're here and what they need. But absolutely right on track.
Awesome.
All right, what's next? Agnieszka, yours next?
Sure, yeah. Just really quickly, I think that he should put that whole slideshow and say contractor eye candy, like on a separate page, and have that slideshow there, because and then if people see contractor eye candy, they can go there. But other than that, they don't need to see it. Yeah, let's go check it out. I can turn my video. Go to watercolorpainting.com. Oh, yeah, I was going up and down the stairs and there were garbage people and all sorts of things happening, so.
All right, Agnieszka, tell us about it.
Okay, so my client had his website redesigned by some dude, and this is where it's at.
This website designed by some dude, and this is where it's at.
The conflict with me, and he didn't want me to work on it, so he did it all by himself.
Ah, okay. And so what is watercolor painting? Is it just, okay, 20 years of watercolor painting.
Ideally, the website is designed for older ladies or people who want to learn watercolor painting at home. But in the last week, I also found out that watercolor painting is a lot more difficult than I ever considered or suspected. Even though I'm a painter with many years experience and I painted with oils and acrylics and pastels and all sorts of shit, doing it watercolor style is completely a shit show. Like basically watercolor has a mind of its own. It's like taming a wild horse. Literally. Like normal paint, you put it there, it stays there, right? Watercolor changes in front of your eyes and then changes again over the next 10 minutes. And whatever it changes into, you have to accept as part of your design because, you know, you can just freak out about it, but it's not going to happen. It continues to evolve. Huh?
I was going to say they should try paint by numbers.
Paint by numbers is not included. Yeah,
I think right off the bat, I think choose your path should be up at the top, and the next, so that, because that to me is like the first thing. Is this thing for me? Oh, I'm a beginner. Okay. Or
honestly,
maybe there's a contractor part of it.
The first thing that I was wondering is, even though I'm like, okay, I'm reading this headline, you know, all this stuff, and I still honestly wasn't completely clear about what this is. Even just reading this headline, I still wasn't 100% clear of like, okay, tutorial techniques. Oh, then I'm like, oh, it's courses. Okay. And then down here, and then choosing, you know, what level you're at. I would want this to say more of like, you know, learn how to, you know, do watercolor painting like a pro, but you know, something, obviously not that, but something that's more telling me like, what am I going to get from this? Rather than just like, okay, got these tutorials and ideas and techniques. And I also hate having a period at the end of a headline. That annoys me. So choose your path. New to watercolor painting and watercolorpainting.com.
I think it looks kind of like a domain sale page. It needs more. That looks like acrylic paint, actually, and it would need to have watercolors. And
yes,
I think, Kara, you were just going to say there's too many words there under choose your path. You don't need.
I was just like, it's just funny too, if you're new to watercolor painting and watercolorpainting.com, that just felt extra clunky to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like it to be more appealing to a more general audience. Like, I'd like it to, but I would really like
yellows
opinion, because I've already stated my opinion about this, and I'd like the group to really analyze this for me, please, and give me all I've been teaching you guys.
Well, I'll be quiet since I'm too new to. You haven't taught me anything yet, Agni.
Oh, speak up. Use that intuition.
Yeah, you can just use your brain. I'd expect to see a lot more colorful, you know, examples.
Yeah.
Because this is like, you know, it could be an accounting course. It's
yeah.
And
who is their audience? Because this is a very masculine feeling.
Yes.
site.
Little old ladies want to see flowers.
Yeah,
and-
you were saying little old ladies. Yeah, they're gonna want to see some peonies on there.
Yeah. You could make all these backgrounds that are, you know, the little containers. They could all be watercolors, different watercolor paintings that
We have great flower watercolor tutorials on our blog that we could possibly use. So I don't know. I just think that even if, yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. It should be you.
I keep getting really annoyed with with the constant use of watercolorpainting.com.
Yep.
It's really bugging me.
well, the guy that did this took a web design course at the local community college. So
20 years of tutorials and all right, all this stuff, but it still doesn't tell me like what am I going to learn? What am I going to get from this?
Yeah, and it says 20 years of tutorials in the library, so flash a few of the videos of them going on.
Well, are they video tutorials?
Good question.
Yes, there are video tutorials. There are a bunch of courses, and I've actually watched some of them. They're really good. But again, they're a little masculine. Like that's why I'm actually filming new courses this weekend, because a lot of the courses in the library are very like landscapes and abstracts and like 60s style paintings. And it's not really geared toward ladies at all. But there are some blog posts that have tutorials from YouTube pulled in and commented upon, which are really good. And we could maybe feature those. I'm not sure. But I would like to make it more feminine or more uniform, like so that it appeals to both men and women, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why
Agnieszka,
this is capitalized.
Agnieszka, can I ask?
Yeah.
I'm just confused. Is this client he didn't want to take your advice and he did his own thing? Are you still engaged, or or has he just changed his mind and now he wants your help?
No, I've been working for this client the whole time, all along. They used the company to redo the website because the website actually crashed at one point and it was completely gone. They had some kind of a backup, and from that backup, they recreated it. And then the company, the company that was hired for it, they redid the website. But because they were taking care of that whole container, they didn't advise me. They didn't get me to do any of the writing for it or anything, right? And yeah, there was a little bit of a conflict with one of the members there, so that's why I was not involved in this project at all. But now we're all playing together nicely and working together again, and I would like to take another look at this website and maybe take it to another level where it actually is converting people upon landing, because I think that the problem with this website is that it's not converting because it's not appealing. It's not appealing to the target audience. And I'm just looking at insights on Facebook. I'll give them to you guys in a second.
And I think all the comments about left brain dominance and male dominance is very valid here. Because initially when it opened up, it's like, oh yeah, this is nice. So that's a dead giveaway. For those
Oh, there's some color.
Yeah, that looks nice.
That needs to be up top.
That's the new stuff I've been writing.
Look at that.
Nice painting, Agnieszka.
There you go. Problem solved.
Writer, that's her first article actually for us. And Vanda has some.
Well, I would, this is like different from the other site we looked like. I want to know about this Beebly person. I'm assuming that's her name, you know.
No, dude, Beebly is just the name. I don't know where they got her from.
Oh, okay. Well, I would want to know something about who's going to teach me.
Eventually I will be. Like, I'm filming the first videos this weekend. I must have my first Facebook Live this weekend where I'll be showing some abstract ideas because people wanted to know how to paint a beautiful abstract.
Gotcha.
And the whole course tags thing is weird too because I've already re-tagged them, and then I don't know. It's not. It hasn't seemed to absorb what I've done, but I'll have to check.
Yeah, well, and it's like other than, I mean, on these other pages, I expected to learn more about like, okay, it's like I'm a beginner, and then okay, I just got to go look and try and look at this stuff, but it still feels overwhelming. Like, I'm not a painter, so I think I'm a perfect person to be looking at this. Like, I'm a beginner, and I look at this and I still get a little overwhelmed and like not sure if this is for me.
Because it's not featuring the right blogs in the front, and also with the courses. I mean, I don't know, there's like 40 courses, so how come there's only one intermediate course, right?
Well, these look like they're in order that they were posted, and I think a beginner needs a better order than that.
Well, and like I would say up here, having even some bullet points of like, what are those beginner techniques that I'm going to learn, rather than just going, okay, how to paint a colorful exotic fish underwater. I'm just like, what are the techniques? What are things that I'm gonna learn, and then I can go down and find what thing that I want to navigate to.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe a getting page too.
Go ahead, Chris.
You know, getting started, like, what do you need to buy? I mean, if I go to the store to buy watercolors, I mean, there's lots of choices, and it'd be nice to know.
Really good point.
With affiliate links.
Yes.
They're working drop shipping, but that hasn't been signed. Like the thing is in order, in process right now. And I'm working with the drop shipping company to make sure that they get quality materials and stuff like that, so we're not selling subpar materials. What was I gonna say? What was the other thing that you said, Chris? I don't know.
I clicked on the plans page, and it's the same stuff that I just saw. It's no different.
I was just going to say on the beginners that, you know, like that's the easiest one to like lead people to the right path, and like starting simple and then going to more complex. To me, it seems like there's like no like simple first, and then it's so like I think you know, for the beginners, that's the easiest way to convert, is to make it simple for them. And if it's complex, they're gonna get lost.
I'm working on some really simple courses right now. I'm working on this one, how to paint a cactus, right? This is super easy. A child could do this, or a Parkinson's person. And then you finish it off with a marker, so you have like a bit of an outline. This is the beginning, like watercolor, using the techniques, right? So I'm gonna start with that. This is more like an intermediate or advanced beginner. And then we have this one, which also may take a longer time, but it's also like a very beginner kind of thing where they can learn how it all blends and see. I kind of messed up here. I want to kind of feature those kind of things here and show them like my paint was too wet, and so that's what happens, and then it lays on top ending,
like common mistakes and stuff, and you know, the techniques. And then I looked here, and like the last one in this beginner section is about mixing colors, and it says, look here, what to look for when buying a watercolor palette. That, like, not only should these be in appropriate order listed here, but that's something, that text right there would be a beautiful bullet point to feature right up here. So if I'm a beginner and I need to know quickly if this is for me, oh, okay, that's what I can learn down in here in these tutorials, and having those bullet points of that stuff would be very helpful.
I'd love to see like a collage of the various different things in the background up there. A bunch of various different sized, you know, words of you know, palettes and blending and jargon, essentially.
Like a word cloud kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I like those. They kind of give you like a snapshot of what's inside the page just by glancing at the words, right? So Van, what did you say that you felt when you first saw the website?
Yeah, I just like the layout, and it seemed very logical. But after people started talking, it was like, oh, geez, I was far off the mark.
Would you buy a watercolor painting class from this website?
Well, geez, it's hard to say because initially I was like, okay, I'm interested. I'll probably, I'm very detailed oriented, so I'll probably, probably get a bit frustrated, but I would persist, and I probably would have found those clips look pretty good. Obviously I haven't seen them, but I was influenced by you saying that the courses is very good. So I'm hoping that those videos would reflect that.
The courses expected. Like when I finally got access to the courses, they were better than I expected. But
can you put reviews up there about that?
Also, my first thought is, I think I need a real person. So I would put something that explains why you don't really need, a human being next to you showing you how to do everything.
The video.
Unless they offer that also, private lessons.
In like a real person welcoming you to the page, but basically it's the same thing. Yeah. Somebody coming on video and going, hey, welcome to work. We used to have that on the Walt website before it crashed. Every one of these pages had a video overview. Every single page on the website had a video overview where the former owner would say, hi, welcome to watercolor painting. This is a place you're going to learn step by step and all this stuff, right? And so
they lost the videos?
We lost the whole website. Yeah.
Whose fault was it? The host or?
I don't know. I really don't know. Well, it was, but the whole point. The whole point.
The contrast right here on this page, that watercolor is beautiful, and then over on the left, there's these dark, murky buttons. It just doesn't. The contrast is not. It's not flowing like a watercolor does. Watercolor bleeds.
Exactly. I don't know why these words and these categories aren't listed on the homepage. Like, this is important stuff to know that you can learn. I didn't know that, I didn't see any of this until I clicked on the courses link and then, browse courses.
Yeah, but the landing page is very important. The first page where the people land, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a landing, well, okay, if it's a landing page from an ad, that's one thing, but this looks like the home page of the website.
Oh,
right.
This is the home page of the website. And then I went to the course to browse courses, and that's where I saw all that other stuff.
Yeah, I would probably do a different kind of menu that's got a drop down, so you mouse over it and you get all these other options.
Mm-hmm. And one of the best parts of this website is the blog. The blog has free lessons. The blog has all sorts of stuff. And I think it says somewhere that it does, but it's kind of hidden on the front page, like if you want free lessons. But there's a lot of it
there. Right there on the right. Right there on the right-hand side. Would you like free courses?
You can click on my name and see all the blogs I've ever written. No, that's not true. 6 out of the 30 that I've written are there.
Agnieszka, it seems like a blessing in disguise that this crash has happened and that, this whole thing can be redesigned.
Absolutely.
I have a question once you're done.
Yeah, Jerry.
So I was thinking about the male perspective, like what's it called, the headline, once you when you land on the website, would that be a good about me?
Well, is it about the client or is it about the Beebleys?
Both. Well, still both.
So it could be like maybe somewhere in the middle of the bio, but I wouldn't put it on top, because on top would be something about the client. Hey, have you been looking for a place where you can learn watercolor painting without having to leave your home? Or have you been considering, like a lot of the clients, mobility issues.
I think, so if you just remove the 20 years of watercolor painting and just said tutorials, ideas, techniques at your fingertips, and then had those 3, beginner, intermediate.
Look at this audience numbers, guys. I just pulled it up finally. So 82.4% women, 17% men. Age and gender,
again, 64%, I don't know. Oh, okay, these are two okay, Facebook versus Instagram. Anyway, majority is women. Instagram 35% men, and Facebook 17% men.
I really like what Karis, what you said about the beginner's course. If there were bulletin points, that's a ton of value right there.
I hate this button. This button should say something like start painting, or just something simple like that.
There's watercolor painting 16 times on that front page. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Why do you think I brought this to you guys to tell me that?
Or that button could say free lessons here. Something.
Exactly.
Well, it links to the plans page. It links to view plans. And so packages and pricing, that's what I'm like, start painting something.
Well, I think they have to do a lot more convincing before they go to payments and plans.
Right? You have to get to know somebody before you like sleep with them or whatever.
Exactly.
We all learned that one the hard way.
Do we?
I have a question. So is this one artist, or is it a bunch of artists that are showing people how to do different
artists over like 20 years?
Sorry,
Like,
I didn't hear the first part.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you the first part of your answer, Agnieszka.
It's a bunch of different people who've been teaching in this watercolor painting for over 20 years. There was a guy, Greg Conley, who started it, but there's a bunch of different artists, and like I'm the new whatever artist.
Oh, that should be something featured
that
up here.
sounds very interesting right there.
But sell that idea too. Have a button. Are you already an artist? And then say you can be a part of our website for this amount of money.
I was thinking about mentioning somewhere on here of like learning from all of these experienced artists that have, all this experience. Like, I think that that's a big value add.
Yeah, but that's what he means by 20 years of watercolor painting tutorials.
That's not clear to me.
From award-winning art, what actually it should say is something like learn from award-winning artists and eliminate technique errors step by step, or something like that.
So do people only join do people only benefit from one person's experience, or is it from everyone who is on the because if it's more than one person that they're learning from, couldn't they say over 100 years worth of experience or something like that?
But it would be pushing it for something, for a website like that, especially if it's targeted at women.
Can you also put the health benefits? Because it's a major stress relief.
Right, exactly. Health benefits of watercolor painting or learning watercolor painting. Yes. I used to talk about that a lot in the emails that I used to write, like, 3. But I really, personally, I think that it needs a video on every page like it used to have. It's way more personable than this.
When you're selling like a visual service, it needs to have so much more visual eye candy.
Exactly. And that's why we don't pay attention, and that's why there's not a lot of sales. Because it's dark and murky and like the bottom of a swamp.
Wow, I can't wait to see the before and after.
Yeah, I don't think it would be very difficult. There's no structural, real huge changes. It just has to be re-imaged a little bit. Like the images and the writing needs to be changed, right? Even the yellow button, as long as it had white in the middle instead of black.
Yeah, I was curious to hear what you would all change, Agnieszka.
Well, I would start with what's more important to women when they're learning watercolor, right? Most women that are learning watercolor from a website like this would probably be over 40. So we're talking about a group of women, and according to the Facebook is 80%. Women who are in their adult life, they probably have already finished work, or they're
maybe they're using this as a hobby, maybe like an after work thing. Their children are probably grown up, right? Or at least teenagers, where they have the time to be spending stuff like time on things like watercolor painting. So we come up with a woman who is, you know, I was calling her Sally in my previous, like before, right? But I usually call a lot of people Sally in my imagination.
Sally is very skilled.
Right. So Sally is, you know, her children are grown up, and she is thinking about retirement, what she's going to do as she gets older. She may be getting closer to retirement, or she may be just having a little bit of extra time, wanting to reconnect with her passion for painting and wanting to pick up watercolor painting. Maybe Sally thinks watercolor painting is easier than acrylic because acrylic dries into plastic and watercolor can be washed with water. But Sally couldn't be more wrong. But we're not going to tell Sally that at this point. What we're going to say is any challenges that Sally runs into, I will run into first, and I will describe them in detail in video and writing and email and whatever, so that Sally can overcome her challenges and be a beautiful watercolor painter. And what I was telling people is that at the end of every class, you're going to end up with a painting that you can hang on your wall, right? And that's true for every one of the courses here. But like, if you frame this, you could hang it on your wall, like in the bathroom or something. Or this one, maybe in the kitchen. But that's the kind of stuff I want to paint. A lot of the painters, and this is what I was talking, a lot of the courses, they have a lot of really good content, but it's even advanced for me, even though I have, you know, 40 years experience painting. Or
you could add a page where people that have done some of the tutorials share their work. People like to share.
Mm-hmm. People who have done the tutorials were working with the previous owner, and they're probably retired by now.
Oh. Well, as you move forward,
me, I can do it, right? Like as a new tutorial person, and if we get other artists who want to do tutorials, they could probably do it too. I would totally love that.
I didn't mean more tutorials. I meant just like a page where you could see what other people had done from the doing the from actually doing the
back on video.
Yeah.
Like a gallery page?
Yeah, something like that.
Like all the paintings you can learn how to paint through the courses that you take from watercolorpainting.com.
Well, that's another idea, but
well, I think Chris was talking about like it's like the student work and
the student work.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know any student work because we don't have a relationship with our students.
Oh, you got to find a way to get their emails.
Yeah, I know. So far, when people purchase from us, they end up on the email list or sign up on the email. But
how about sponsoring a contest where somebody gets like $50 worth of supplies if they submit their painting,
or access to a paid course?
Mm-hmm. Access to a paid course would definitely be cheaper for us.
Well, and I would even go so far as to say earn points by sending in your samples.
That's a beautiful idea. I love it.
And then when you get 10 points, then you can get a free class or whatever.
Exactly. A weekly contest to be the featured painter, at the front of some page.
We could do something like that. I don't know if our audience is pretty dormant at this point because they've been ignored for a while. So I think we need to reestablish our audience. But it should
maybe. Sorry.
Who is talking? I can't hear anybody.
Sorry, it was a rookie error. Me.
Cool. Well, more thoughts for Agnieszka before we move on to Carly?
Yay.
I'm excited to see what you do.
Yeah, keep us posted, Agnieszka.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely want to see the aftermath.
Maybe I'll give you guys a sneak preview at my video, or maybe I'll invite you to my Facebook Live on Sunday. You can learn painting from me live.
Great.
Are you going to put it in the class chat before you do it?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Do you want me to?
I think it's a good idea. A lot of people see that and then they act on it.
Yeah, make it an event.
Awesome.
You can get it listed on the event page.
Follow us on Facebook. How many people in Autonomy have Facebook still? Maybe some, yeah.
I have a fake Facebook account for just knowing what's going on, but I don't use it unless I have to.
Yeah, once you have a Facebook account, you probably will always have a Facebook account. You just don't have to go to it.
Like the Catholic Church.
All right, Carly, you're up, my friend.
Okay. Do you want me to give you the website address, or do you want me to just share screen?
Whatever's more comfortable for you. You can share if you want.
Makes no difference. Screen share? Okay.
Sure.
Let's see, where is it? Okay, so just remember, I just built this last night. So
yeah.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I bought all the artwork.
Like it. Brain and heart.
And so give us the little pitch on what we're looking at for anyone that's not familiar.
Okay, so soma lumen is Greek, means soma. Soma is Greek for body, and lumen means light. And in the human form, a lumen is an expanding tube of light. So this is this work is my combination of enlightenment practice and awakening the body to become the temple for the soul. So I offer services. My main services from the beginning has been as an orthopedic massage therapist, and I still haven't finished all of this because I have other services that I offer, inner space guided movements and what have you. So these are my hands-on sessions. The online stuff is what's kind of new for me. As you guys may know, I'm offering a course free to Autonomy for the first run on, well, I used to call it elemental liberation, but it's on, becoming the steward of your body and detoxifying the elements. And I talk about, how the elements play a role in the physical form. I have a lot of training that I don't really talk a lot about. In fact, to go to the About page that we talked about, I think this is what Agnieszka was getting at when she was talking to John's things. I tried to address how the clients benefit from working with me. All my, I haven't listed all my certifications and all my training. I used to do that and it would take up a whole page and it was kind of boring. I don't think anybody actually looked at it.
Yeah, it's like if anything, you could have that like listed at the bottom or something that people could go and check out if that's important to them. But yeah, you're right on point.
Yeah. So
it's an interesting layout that you've chosen with the with the menu the way that it is. To be honest, when we first landed here, it wasn't clear to me that top left little button was would open up a menu.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I want to change it, but I'm nervous that it will change everything. This is a Weebly site. And I'm with you. I want something more visible. I just haven't ventured into messing around with what I've got. And again, like this, see how we've got this here and then you have to scroll down. I don't think I'm not sure that that's the right way to go either. And
well, and we don't have to, we can definitely, of course, offer, design feedback and stuff, but also taking into consideration that this is, very newly set up. You've just expressed, wanting to do a little bit of a different design. So just focusing more on like the copy side of things and just thinking about, it's pretty scarce with the copy that you have here when someone's first landing here. So thinking about ways that you could meet them where they're at when they first land here, and kind of acknowledge, what someone typically coming to you, like, what are they experiencing? What are the kind of problems that they're experiencing?
So that's kind of where my challenge is, because kind of like what John had is it's a mixed bag. So I've got people who come to me for physical challenges, scar tissue, mobility issues, fascial adhesion, oftentimes foot issues. And then I've got people who want to know more about becoming more enlightened, how to get on, the path of way showing. So it's and coaching. But the coaching often combines with the physical stuff, because, we go into the somatic stuff. So usually it's physical pain, physical discomfort.
So I would start by, with how you decide to present it on the page would be step 2. But I would start by, just for yourself, like, creating a list, like a 2-column list of these 2 sides of the coin and those kinds of problems so that they can land here and see really quickly, like, even if it's like noticing something from a quick bulleted list and going, oh yes, that speaks to me. Okay, I know I'm in the right place.
Okay.
I was also thinking that, in a lot of cases, a lot of people won't treat these things for themselves, but they'll take a referral from somebody else. If you hear, like, your friend saying, oh man, my foot is killing me, and you go, oh man, you should talk to Carly. She can take care of this. Kind of structuring it in that form where you're bringing awareness to people that may, have a loved one or something that's suffering, but like, maybe they're just going to the doctor and trying to get it medicated, and it's not working, and they've been complaining about it for 6 months or 6 years, and you say, oh man, I heard about a foot person that can take care of that. That might be something to think about.
Yeah, a lot of times that was, so my practice closed 2 years ago because of the pandemic, and I moved. So I'm starting over.
Yeah.
And a lot of my clients were all of my clients were referrals, or I would pick them up from workshops. And the ones that a good portion of them were, after PT didn't work, after the surgery, after the physicians weren't, the meds weren't working, all of that. So how are you suggesting I put that on the front page, like solutions?
Well, I'm just saying that maybe, like, that's kind of it should be more like an awareness thing, where you're just saying, like, this takes care of this, or I can take care of these things, for people that are suffering. If you're aware of people suffering, I can take care of these things.
Yeah, I think the front page has to say what kind of things this can solve, and fix.
You have that line that, awaken to your authentic self, which is a great line. What I'm going to encourage you to do is come up with, like, oh man, like 6 or 8 more of those. Think of them like benefit driven little headlines that become your like your bullet points on that home page of, like, these big outcomes of what people could experience by coming to you. Later down on the page, you can get more into detail. And there's various other areas, more detail into the how. But coming up with a handful of more little mini headlines that are, like, fully benefit driven in the outcomes people are going to experience.
Okay.
Carly.
And
oh, sorry, go for it.
Just some final thought. And brainstorm. So, with brainstorming, the idea is quantity over quality. So, just start like pumping out a whole bunch of ideas, and, like, they're going to start triggering those little gold nuggets. And then you go back, you can take a step away, come back to your list later on, and start weeding out the ones that don't fit, or course correcting as you go.
So I guess the question is, do I continue to keep these 2 things, the courses and the hands-on stuff, They should be on separate pages.
I mean, you would like your home page is kind of that like base navigation where they can go to where they can find those other things. So I don't see a problem with having both things as long as they link to their appropriate pages where they can learn more. Did I hear your question right?
I think so. Yeah.
I
Maybe
mean, you had said soma lumen, what it meant. You
Yeah.
know, would it be appropriate to put the definition under there, under the name?
I could just say body of light. Yeah, I had it
Ooh.
there. I guess I took it down. So what it basically translates to is body of light.
And so on this navigation, you could have like a couple columns where one is like coaching, another one is courses, where they can go, you know, depending on what their needs are, because they might be coming here and just like, I need just some one-on-one time with Carly to get this stuff done. And then boom, coaching is just right there, easy for them to get to.
Okay.
And or if they want to learn about your courses.
Okay. And I have videos on Crowdcast that I'll link to as well. Lots of them.
You know what, Carly, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
I was thinking for somebody who's been going through pain and going to PT and doctors and getting medications and nothing's working, that's a big part of the problem, is that they're kind of feeling like it's time to give up, maybe. So you could talk, and what cued me into this was you were talking, and I was like, I would love to see exactly what Carly just said in quotation marks, not even a full sentence, but like floating across in front of my vision somehow saying, when the PT didn't work, ... or the medications weren't a good fit, or, you know, like I've tried everything and yeah, it's time to get my life back. Like it's time to get your life back and feel comfortable in your own body again.
That's powerful stuff.
Write it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like the features and benefits for the so that addresses my hands-on practice. So the main thing I'm trying to get off the ground is the course. And I wrote a ton of features and benefits yesterday. Actually, I'd already written them. I just copied and pasted them back into the spreadsheet. And, you know, do you list all of them on the website, all of the features? Like, so on here where you can see I've got the course, I haven't finished. I'm just, you know, literally starting it. Do I put, you know, the features and benefits I have listed for each one of the elements? Would those go here on the website? Or would I break up the element onto a different page? It's a lot.
I would say, I mean, I'd have to see to be sure, but I mean, really I would focus mostly on the benefits and the strongest benefits. Like if you could dial them into, you know, for each element, if you could dial into, like, I don't know how many that you have listed for each one, but if you dialed into like the top 5 or 6 or something like that, even 4, but having the top benefits that people are going to experience.
Okay. Okay.
So this was like, you know, with the features and benefits, as far as having features, benefits side by side on a website, because what Carly, and for anyone that doesn't know, what Carly's referring to is an exercise in the copywriting course about creating a features and benefits spreadsheet, because, you know, again, features sell, benefits sell. So having one column with the features and another column with all of the benefits for the corresponding features. And sometimes, and so what the thing is what I want to communicate is it depends on what the product, the service is, if you're actually going to list the features as well. So that's kind of what it just depends on. Oftentimes when you're thinking about like a product that does have specific features, you want to list the features along with the benefits. Sometimes all you need is just listing out the benefits, and you don't even need to mention, you know, the specific feature that they're corresponding to. I'm looking. So, oh yeah. So yeah, you've got, so it's for each of the elements. Yeah. Pick out like your top ones. Maybe, you know, I don't know the exact number. I would say no more no more than 6. I'd say no more than 6 to 8 tops, but pull out the strongest ones.
Okay. Thank you.
How you feeling, Carly?
Okay.
Yeah.
Drained. This has been on my mind pretty much every waking minute, including those when I wake up in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
a little worn out.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
I,
got this.
I had a question, Carly, on, but I think that it was answered. But I'm just a bit unclear about, your offering. Is it mainly in the flesh, but now you've got the course as well? So there's like 2 aspects. You can do it in person, but you can also do it on a course, right? So
Yeah.
and that all fits on one website. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, the question was, well, to answer your question, I do in-person treatments, hands on the body or sound healing, or, do some, I can do inner space guided movement sessions online as well. The course would pretty much be an online thing.
Okay.
The coaching also, generally my hands-on stuff, they merge the coaching with the hands-on stuff, but I could also do just the online and do just online coaching. So it's a little bit of both. Right.
And you mentioned the pilot program for autonomy students. Where can people sign up for that?
So that's gonna, I posted something and got your excellent feedback. So I'm gonna be updating that, and I'll be, and Jerry's my shadow host, so he's gonna help me get it up in front of everybody's faces.
Oh, excellent. Good thinking. And then also, have you kind of got any guidance from this group about, you've written a lot of books, so you've got a lot of writing ready to go. So, one of the things that I've seen in this space is to gain an email from people. You provide value in exchange for, your ebook or something. So have you given that any kind of thought, how you can develop that?
It's on the burner of things to consider. I have so much writing that I've overwhelmed myself, because instead of going and looking at my writing, I write more. And so I'm making myself go a little batshit crazy, to be honest. So
but
yeah.
You've got stuff that's already completed many years ago, that's ready to go. And
pretty much, yeah.
Opportunities for potential lead magnets.
Yeah. Thanks, Van.
Any more final thoughts for Carly?
Carly did an amazing job with just one day on the website, and her graphics were awesome, and her writing is not bad at all. And it's just a few things to fix.
And I love your graphics.
Thank you. Etsy.
Yeah, nice. Nice place to buy graphics.
You've really got a very strong start, Carly.
Oh, that's great feedback, Carly. And I wonder if you can use that little monologue that, at one of the Q&As as, I don't know, something that you can put on the website. I don't know if you can or allowed to, but probably need to find that out. Is that monologue that you did before, was it before or during a Q&A? I can't remember. That was very powerful as well.
On the vagus nerve and the umbilical ligament?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go into a diatribe anytime you want. I can for sure. That's a good idea.
All right. Excellent. Strong start, Carly. You're really on a good trajectory. I know it's hard to feel that way when you're in the thick of it and have a long laundry list of stuff to do, but you're doing fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, you're up next. You are muted.
Okay. Everything moved on me. So I have a bunch of websites, but I have 3 that are sort of linked together. My windshield and several of my students' windshields have this URL, which is birthtruth.com. And it links to the other 2 websites that are related. So one is Health and Freedom Midwifery Care. And this is the one I hate. Somebody else made it for me because I was too busy. And I don't like very much about it at all. But there's a lot of information here. I've had this domain since 92, I think, whenever pretty much when the internet started. And it's full of information. And I don't like the way the menu works either, but Google Map. Oh, that's not even a Google Map, is it? I guess it is. So everybody, I get a lot of good feedback from it. Everybody loves the information that's on it. I can't stand it. So, and the site that I love, which is still very old-fashioned, is this one. And this is newer, but all this information used to be on My Health Freedom as well. This has kind of been growing in ever since I started it. And eventually I need to move all of this information to the Birth Truth domain, which disappeared, to this domain name. So my rankings are great because My Health Freedom is so old. So I come up really high in the search engines. And Birth Truth is only, I don't know, 8 years old, something like that.
It is challenging to read that text up top with the color.
It is, I know. I could make it darker. That's good feedback. I know that this works great on phones, which is why I'm going to go to this kind of a layout, but it's hard. It's fine if you're just trying to get a reaction, but if you're trying to give them information, well, like these are, well, that's not a very good example. Some of the stories are really long. Everybody loves to read the birth stories. Let me make the text bigger. And also home birth. This is basically, the way my business works. And I'm not trying to get more people. Well, I need a few more clients, but a lot of websites, they want everybody they can possibly get because they're selling a thing, a widget or something. But right now I only do 4 babies a month, so I don't need necessarily everybody in the world to come to my site. I more care that they are the kind of people that will be responsible, because otherwise I'm at risk of losing my license because they're going to blame me for something that they should have done in the first place. But
so do you have like a qualification process?
Yeah, when they contact me, I have this form on every page, and when they contact me, I send them a welcome email. Starts, out telling a little bit about me and how my practice flows. That we meet every 4 weeks till 28 weeks, etc. And then it says no masks required ever. And if you've had the toxin, then I consider you high risk, but that can be mitigated through a strict nutritarian diet. So I kind of get rid of people that are like, either think that's too flaky for them, or they don't want to take care of themselves. So I do that with that email. But I'm also planning to have a health stewardship course, which will be what My Health Freedom, this domain will be for. So I haven't decided yet how best to accomplish this move, because I have to move the content from this to Birth Truth, hopefully without losing my ranking too much. And then I need to move the course and the health stuff to this, to My Health Freedom. I can't see, let me get lower here. So this is actually on a domain that says Chris Duffy LM for licensed midwife. So it would make more sense to be birth related than. These are my favorite colors. I love this site.
And general overall note is a larger text size.
Uh-huh.
And anytime you're doing like homepage copy, think about breaking up big chunks of text. And like you want to accommodate skimmers, which a large population of people are skimming websites, and like the majority of people are probably not going to read each and every word that is here. So thinking about how you can make the most important stuff stand out and break up big chunks of text so that it's easier for the eyes to take in.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Chris, are you still delivering babies, or is this a course to train people? People.
Okay, so I'm 67. I plan to be working until the day I fall asleep and don't wake up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do childbirth as long as I can, but at some point I imagine I'll get tired of getting woke up at 3 a.m., to go to a birth. And that's one of the reasons why. So this health stewardship course, I've taught it face-to-face for years until I started working for the college, and then I stopped doing it. But now I want to put it online so that anybody could take it and I don't have to be involved. Although it might have a face-to-face component, like a workshop or something, where they can ask me specific questions and things. But yeah, so that's the other kind of advertising, in that I do want everybody on the planet to end up on the webpage, and possibly take the course. So it's like two different philosophies, or goals, with
right.
marketing.
Why everybody on the planet, Chris? Why wouldn't you?
That's an exaggeration.
Just the people
anybody
who resonate with your work.
Yeah, well, everybody can improve their health. I would like to set everybody free from the medical establishment.
But some people like it and they don't want to. So
Well,
they're not.
They won't stay long on my page.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
So before you go away from this page, I noticed so at the very top, it started with, birth truth and then call for a free consultation. So before inviting them to call for a consultation, give them a little bit more of the value that they're going to get from here. And so then scroll down a little bit again. Let's look at the copy down below. A little bit more, even like, so you have this sentence, learn what you need to have the best pregnancy at birth and the healthiest baby possible. Taking an element of that, of like, have the best pregnancy and birth and the healthiest baby possible. Something along those lines could be a really grabby headline for, parent, future parent coming here and like, oh yes, that's what I want. Now I might be ready to learn a little bit more and then call for a consultation.
Cool.
I would say of the things that
Sorry, you were
my
garbled.
attention the most. Sorry, better now?
Just talk a little slower so I can translate.
All right. Well, the thing that caught my attention was that birth stories and miracles, and I think the word and the miracle birth are really, I think, important catchwords.
Birth stories and miracles. You like that? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think the miracle of birth is it's true.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess
like
I stuck
making sure
Miracle
that they
on.
have that experience instead of like the nightmare of birth.
Yeah, I stuck Miracle on the end of that because of this. This is a placenta. This woman would have died if they broke her waters, or the baby would have died if they broke the water in the hospital like they tend to do, because of all these blood vessels that are in the amnion instead of just in the placenta. So that's the miracle, that because she had a home birth and I don't break water, you know, this baby was absolutely fine. So the rest of them are all birth stories though.
That is
Can
so
you
interesting.
repeat that headline that Kara said? What was the headline?
On this site,
The headline that Kara said to
Yeah,
put
good.
down here,
Yes,
learn
yeah,
what
like
you need to have the best pregnancy and birth and the healthiest baby possible.
Okay, so
That's too
in order
long.
to make that something that, yeah, you could shorten it, but I love that. And so the order that I heard Kara say it in is they would see that headline that would make them want to learn more and then book a consultation. So to learn more, what if you made each section of that headline a live link? And one of those live links would go to that miracle story you just showed us, the healthiest baby possible, maybe. And they would be like, oh, I want to have the healthiest baby possible. Let me click that. I can tell that's a live link. And then they would go to that story maybe. Or yeah. And then I'm sure you have somewhere on your website information about a healthy pregnancy.
Yeah, that would be this website, which is the one that needs work.
That is a
And
cute photo.
And I like what Stephanie is getting at. I would almost say, like alternatively, still I want to have, I love the idea of having a link over to those stories. And so like having some kind of live link that just says something a little different though, like, you know, go like read about our miracles or hear our birth stories.
Miracles happen every day.
Well, and you can even have, you know, the clip of photo. See how these photos are running through this photo album? They could be the birth stories that are sliding through.
Yeah, I could take the, just the face of this lady, show she's in a pool, but then and I could make each of the photos in the slideshow be a link to that story.
Yeah, anytime I see a slideshow, I'm always trying to click on it, whether it's clickable or not. So that's a good instinct.
Yeah.
Maybe what about a shorter headline could be healthy pregnant.
Oh, I think you cut off. Can you say it again? No.
Keep clicking on the website and going to different websites. You mean on here?
I think we lost her.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Did you mean on this website?
Yeah, just wherever that headline was going to go. Sorry, I've been driving. I assume this is the one that you were talking about putting the headline on. I was just saying, you mentioned that headline was too long. So maybe you could shorten it to healthy pregnancy, healthy baby.
Yeah, well, and I can make this a button, put it over in the upper right, because I would put the form on it too.
Yeah, and I mean, even like as you go a little bit further down the page, give them a little bit something first to grasp onto, and then you have again like a button that's or a link or something, call for your consultation.
Yeah, I literally made this in a day because it's just because of the URL Birth Truth. It's easier to put that on a car and be able to read it than any of these other things that are longer. And so that's on my windshield, and all my students have it on their windshield. And but because of wanting to move my health stewardship stuff to the domain name that's My Health Freedom, it helps to have this third placeholder so that I can move everything around without losing anything or being offline, you know, while I work on it.
Mhm.
Well, thanks. That's good feedback.
Can you also have on the front page of Birth Truth, why just a button that
Shot,
says,
Danielle.
it says why a midwife? You know, and then I'm guessing you have, because if I were pregnant and I didn't know, if I was just curious about midwifery,
Mhm.
I would want to know the benefits,
Nice.
because there's a lot of information on this website.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if a lot of it could be tucked away somewhere that you would, you know, that they'd be on the info would be on back pages, and there would just be buttons that would bring you to answer a question to
Well,
that date.
yeah, I have to think about that though, because I have a lot of information, and people usually grasp what I'm about from reading all my stuff. But I also don't want to turn somebody off because they don't understand me, you know, they don't see the big picture. So, yeah, because I'm not like most midwives. So,
Shocker.
yeah. So I don't want them to think they're going to get your standard midwife. I want them to call me, you know, and so it's like a balance, you know.
How can you communicate that?
Communicate what?
That
Your-
like I'm
your
not your
uniqueness. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not your average midwife. Like, no
Well,
ways
but
that
I
you can
also don't want to
communicate that.
I don't want to diss the other midwives either. It's more to
No, that's what makes you unique. It doesn't, I think it can be presented without, you know, bashing other practices.
yeah, well, I wouldn't bash anybody, but
No.
but in order to, but I don't know, that's just more of a, I'd rather do it face to face. So
Is there a way you can put it, I don't know, maybe that's my left brain taking over here, but like compare and contrast between what you do versus what other people do? The standard industry norm? Or is that opening?
It's more an attitude that I believe in autonomy, and I believe that women give birth. I'm not delivering the baby, the mother is. And all midwives say that's what they believe. But in practice, they're like totally hands-on and telling the mother what to do all the time. But it's not that I never do that. It's just I avoid doing that. So it's, you know, it's not that cut and dried. It's a philosophical difference.
Yeah. And hopefully people reading your website, that'll come across. Well, I think it does.
I think so. I think it does on this site anyways, not this site, even though I hate this site. You know, so it's got, most people have heard about me from somebody else. And they do a search for Houston midwives, and I come up, and they usually recognize my name. If they don't, they click here, and then they mostly they want to know what it costs. Well, and if I'm close to them. And I have a different fee. No, most midwives don't put their fees online at all. I think there's only one other, and she was my student, so that's probably why she does it. And so I think that's usually I get calls because I'm cheaper than everybody else. Because I'm not, I would love to be able to do it just as a ministry and do it for free, but I have to eat. So
yeah.
I'm surprised that you're cheaper than everyone else, because I would, you know, to get you, I'd be prepared to pay more.
Yeah, and I've thought about raising my prices, but there's so many people that can't afford it. You know, I'd hate to have them have a hospital birth just because they can't afford it. I do charge more if it's going to be more risk to my license, like more things could go wrong, which means somebody files a grievance and it's pretty scary if somebody files a grievance. So I charge more for home birth after cesarean, or if it's a first baby, because they're more likely to end up in the hospital than somebody that's having their second, third, or fourth baby, vaginally. So, and then I would rather not deal with money, so I give them a really good discount if they pay in full by 12 weeks. And it's worked out pretty well.
But are you able to sustain your desire to evangelize, alternative medicine to the world, like you've indicated, on your current fee structure? Because if you're undervaluing your service, then the other aspect is going to suffer.
True. I don't know. I haven't quite gotten a handle on how my finances are really working. I've made several budgets, but now that I'm retired from the college, I'm getting half the money from them that I used to, so I'm still learning how this is all going to play out.
I just have a feeling you're vastly undervaluing what your wealth of experience. Because I would, number one thing I look to, in trusting someone is how much experience do they have. A rookie new on the street, I'm just not going to have as much faith. And someone who has a track record like yourself, you've indicated your website's been up for forever, since '92.
Long time, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that this is something to consider going forward. I just have a feeling you're underestimating or undervaluing yourself.
Very good thought. We are at the end of our time, folks.
Well, thank you. Very helpful.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I change something.
Excellent. Awesome. All right, guys, any
I just say,
final
wow.
thoughts?
I just say, wow, man, this was definitely a copywriting clinic worth being at. I mean, look at all the stuff that we just went over. I feel like I've learned like 3 new avenues to life here. Amazing.
The juicy one.
Love your positive spin on everything, Michael.
Yeah, I agree with.
I like the chickens. Whoever's got the chickens going.
I was just gonna say I agree with Van, Chris, that you not necessarily. I'm not saying like you undervalue yourself, but like you're worth a lot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, thank you.
And yeah, Kara, I know you said you were gonna take the last week of December off, so enjoy that. Ciao, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.